Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Love Lounge. Listen, y'all, we back here with another episode. It's going to be absolutely great. This is our episode for our second season. Before we go any further, we have to introduce our great people. Y'all know we're going ladies first over here. So listen, y'all, we got our sex coach in the house, certified sex coach, Miss Shenita. What's going on, Miss Shenita?
Hello,
Woo!
hello. Welcome to the couch, the lovely
Welcome to the
lounge.
couch.
Get
We sitting on the
comfortable.
couch.
You got your snacks and your drink. Let's do it.
No,
All of that. All of that. Listen, we got Coach Albie in the house. Welcome back, Coach Albie.
hey, what's going on? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Listen, y'all, we are here with another great conversation and topic. We're talking about embracing your truth, accepting and celebrating your sexual identity. Listen, we're gonna break it down to you because a lot of people don't understand there is a difference between what you identify as and your sexual identity. So you have to understand that there is a difference. So we're going to
Mhm.
talk about that.
Yes.
Sexual identity in individuals. Listen, romantic or sexual attraction to others. That's what sexual identity is. It is your attraction to others. Simple as that. And how you react sexually to others. That's
Mhm.
basically what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, we talk about gay, straight, bi, asexual, polysexual, pansexual, and etc. Listen, y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't even know all them sexuals exist. And listen, when we were preparing, I found out a whole lot about a lot of sexuals. So by the time we end this podcast, people, I'm gonna know what sexual I am. I'm one of them. But we're gonna by the time we finish it, we gonna know. We are going to know. So listen, the mental drain of hiding, it improves your overall happiness. So listen, y'all, we're gonna go to our panel and we're gonna talk about this great topic. So Miss Anita, we're gonna talk about it. What are your initial thoughts on this subject right here?
Well, I'm going to touch on embracing our truths
Mm.
and also shame and how those intertwine. Embracing your truth. That is not choosing one day to, I'm going to be this person. And then the next day, I'm going to try this. Embracing your truth is really digging deep within and knowing, who am I?
Right.
What is my authentic self? What
Yes,
makes me happy? What makes me want to wake up in the morning? Who do I identify as?
yes.
Right? Shame is tells us to pull away from those truths. When we talk about embracing truth and shame when it comes to sexuality, you know, shame teaches us to distrust our bodies.
Ooh.
It silences our desires.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we have talked about desires so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Yes.
if you have not heard it, go back to our first and second.
Yeah.
Listen, we talked about it.
we talk about desires so much,
Yeah.
but it silences our desires because we're more focused on performing for other people,
Mm-hmm.
making other
Mm.
people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And shame also allows us to show up as broken pieces of ourselves. So I like to say it causes us to be chameleons.
Mm.
Yeah. So whatever group
Ooh.
that I am with today, they okay, for example, and this I'm just making up something. This is not who I am, but you know, I'm gonna be straight today because these group of people right here, they don't accept homosexuality or any other type of sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Is straight. That's the way. That's the only way you're going to see Jesus. So
Mm-hmm. That's what they said.
Yeah. That's what we were
so
taught.
I have to strip off these other things and I just have to show up as the straight Shanita. But
Mm.
when I get with my friends, my village, my people, then I'm the bisexual Shanita, I'm the lesbian Shanita or whomever. So different groups. And then at work, I'm somebody completely different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I might turn asexual. I don't want nothing. So
Nothing. Especially from this job, I don't want none of y'all.
yeah, it's just nasty. So, You're just showing up differently like a
Yeah.
chameleon. And let's talk about women. I want to relate to
Mhm.
women. And again, we have spoken about this, but shame teaches women to override our discomfort.
Mm.
Talking about sex. We lay there, it is either not feeling good, we're not feeling anything, or it's hurting, or like I said, we want to just get up and play cards. If you go back to our other podcast, we talked about it. Let's just play cards. That's more interesting,
Yeah.
right?
Spades. Yeah.
Um, it causes us to ignore our pleasure, and we perform instead of feel.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's all about pleasuring our partner.
Right.
As long as our partner is pleased, then everything is a-okay. So that's how bracing truth and shame that shows up in our sexuality.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
That's good.
absolutely amazing. I absolutely love that. Now, listen, y'all, we got to talk about the importance of accepting your authentic self. Now, y'all, I want y'all to listen real good because some of us need that. I said us. It is very important that you accept your authentic self. That's what the truth is about. Coach Albie, tell us about it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. I think it's like you said, I think it's really important for us to embrace our authentic selves. And what that means is really, like giving ourselves the love and acceptance that we need, and bringing that love and acceptance to every part of our being, including our sexual identity. That also means really living in alignment, right, with your values and your deepest feelings. And
Yes.
it's about not conforming or allowing yourself to conform to those external voices or those opinions and values of those who try to control, define, minimize, or suppress the real you. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think accepting yourself means really learning to love that real you and letting go of the, I would say, ascribed standards and that need to fit in, right? And giving
Yes.
yourself the compassion to live out your truth every single day, whatever that truth looks like. And that takes courage. I think that takes integrity. I think that takes a willingness to be vulnerable. I think it takes a
Yes.
lot of self-love. Will everyone like you? Hell no. Ask me how.
Not, not.
Nope.
will, will those that you love the most understand and embrace it and congratulate you? Perhaps not. You will be rejected by some. There will be those who will disavow you, dismiss you, and condemn you in the process. But my thing is, I would rather go through life being despised for being the real me than being liked, loved, elevated, and celebrated for a facade,
Right.
you know?
I like that. I like that.
So yeah, accepting your authentic self, it will come with some risk, but I believe that the reward is great. Because when we learn to let go of the mask that Coach Shenita was referencing just a moment ago, we relieve the stress of trying to hide and be something we're not. That is
Yes.
stressful.
Yes.
Yes.
You
Very
have
stressful.
to die and dive behind cars and in corners and
Mhm.
trying to be one way for these people and be something else. That takes a lot out of you. I think
Mhm.
Hmm.
also when we lay that mask down, we find fulfillment in life, in love, and in sex. I
Mhm.
think that living in that truth is what defines and emboldens our purpose.
Yes.
And I think it opens the door to better, truer connections with other people. And I
Yeah.
think, Coach Shanita and Bishop Q and audience, I think the sad reality is that so many people trade authenticity for safety,
Yes. Yes. I
believing,
agree.
yeah, it's almost like they believe that it's better to preserve the version of their life that is most palatable to others while keeping the real them tucked away in the darkness.
That's
And I
Mhm.
know
true.
that that is a
That's true.
personal decision. I get it. And, I respect people doing whatever they feel is best for them. I truly do. But I also believe that who you are is a gift to the world. The real you,
Yes.
the version of yourself that you would be if there was no fear of judgment or condemnation. That is the
Mm-hmm.
true gift that you are. And I think the moment that you recognize that gift, that you recognize that it is beautiful and God given and worthy of the light of day, I think that's the moment you become a true gift to the world around you.
All right.
Um, think about it. How else will those limiting standards be stretched in our world? How else would those societal norms be challenged to give freedom and greater understanding to others? I
Mm.
think see you as straight or gay or bi or poly or asexual or pansexual, thriving in the light of your truth, living a healthy and productive life, I think it inspires people. I think
Mm-hmm.
it,
Yes.
I think it erases stigmas. I think it tears down walls. I think it opens blind eyes and deaf ears. And I think it causes everything around you to shift. What a
Yes.
powerful thing truth is. What a
Right.
powerful
Absolutely.
thing truth is. And I think perhaps there is no greater difference we can make in the world than just by being our authentic selves.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Kobe Albie. I think it's absolutely amazing. A lot of people, and I want to say this to our audience because you are listening to a group of people that's just not saying anything, but at some point in our life we've been in this situation where we weren't our true self, whether it was religious reasons that kept us back and not wanted us to date certain people or do certain things. So you are with a group of people that we've been there, we know what it is. So
Absolutely.
we're trying to talk to you and help you understand. Listen, you have to live your authentic truth self.
Yeah.
And the Bible says those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
Truth.
So we have a whole lot of people that's trying to worship God in the spirit, but not the truth. You got to walk in your truth. And the thing about it is to be able to do that, you have to be very, very careful with your surroundings,
Hmm.
with the pressure of people that make you want to feel some type of way, make you want to be some type of way. Or like
Yes.
Shanita was saying, listen, I'm like this at work, but I'm like something else at home. And I understand that that is a part of your character because there's sometimes we have to do that, especially like growing up around my family, like they did that. They knew how to switch real good. My mom be like, "Go sit down there." That phone ring, like, "Hello, yes, uh-huh. Oh, how may I help you?" You switched up that quick, like you went from one person. Who are you, woman? We don't know your truth. What is your real truth? Because you just cussing me out, and then you answering, "Praise the Lord" on the phone.
Right. Right. Right.
Code switching.
Yeah.
No,
But
Code
those are
switching.
the types of code switching. That is
mm-hmm.
the type of thing that we do in our relationship. It's kind of like code switching, where if you're gay, well, when I get around these certain people, I got to walk a certain kind of way, or no, I got to be a certain kind of way, or whatever the case may be. So we do that. So we have to be careful with the pressures of pulling yourself away, avoiding those people in certain communities don't that don't accept your authentic true self.
Yeah.
So you absolutely have to avoid situations and problems like that. And I know it may be your family members, but I guarantee you, when you avoid those things and walk in your truth, you're gonna be so much happier, and your sex will be better too. I just want to throw
Definitely.
that in there. I had to throw that in there. Listen, learning to embrace your truth will require the dismantle of old negative beliefs to
Yeah.
foster a more honest and fulfilling life. Let's talk about some of the specific barriers that can prevent us from embracing who we are and discuss how we can overcome them. That's what we're going to
Yeah.
talk about today. So,
Mm-hmm.
listen, we're going to give us some reasons why we don't embrace our sexual truth and how to overcome it. Now, y'all know who we're going with. Sis Coach, talk to us. Tell us, girl. Tell us.
Let's talk about these family and friends.
Oh Lord. Jesus.
I'm with you on that one. Come on, girl. Let go. Let go.
Honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah.
A quote that has stuck with me for a while now is pretty much how people plant seeds of doubt in your garden.
Sure they do.
That is not
Mm.
my quote. I don't know who started, but still, it's a very good one.
Mhm.
They're how they think your life should go, how you should live, how you should breathe. They come to you, and again, it comes with that shame. It brings that shame because it's like, if I'm not reaching their standards, then I'm nothing. I haven't
Yep.
made it.
Right.
I, I'm less. I'm less than. And I'm gonna tell a quick story. Just
Go
quick.
ahead.
Take your time,
I,
coach.
I grew up in the church. I shared before I was a PK. So, and this is where shame started for me. Okay. So I know a lot of us are familiar with the mime teams at the church,
Yeah.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was part of the mime. I was,
With that paint on your face, that white paint.
we didn't paint our faces though.
Oh, okay.
We didn't paint
Okay.
our faces. We was too cute for that. But, so I was on part of the mime team. Now, mind you, we had on leggings, leotard, um, a long sleeve top, a long skirt to our ankles, and the skirt went up here, like right under our breasts.
Yeah.
So it nothing, not a the only
Y'all wearing y'all
skin,
skirt like old women wear. That way
yeah,
my grandma, she put it all the way up there. I'm like, what? I thought that your waist ain't up there. That's your breasticles.
right. And my shirt was so long that like just my fingertips were showing. So everything
Covered.
was
Covered.
covered
Yeah.
except for my face
Cover.
and my fingertips. But we were told that there were people that were uncomfortable with us dancing because we were showing too much.
Wow.
It was turning the men on.
Mm.
Y'all fingertips?
Fingertips and faces. Turning them on.
And we at
Okay.
that time we were younger than 18, so we were minors on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the shame came in because it's like that wasn't our problem that you were sitting there imagining what our bodies look like
Yep.
under the many layers of clothing
Yep.
that we had on.
Yep.
But it became
Yep.
our shame. We was like,
Mm.
well, now we're thinking of different ways to cover up and well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we should sit down and maybe we shouldn't do it. And then I remember in my head thinking, like as I was dancing, like, what are these men thinking about? What are the thoughts? Like, does somebody want to do something to me? Like all those things going on in my head. So that's where it started
Mhm.
for me. Um
Mm-hmm.
just the body shame is just
Yeah.
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it just turns into different things. And as I was a PK, I got pregnant at an early age. I got pregnant when I was 20, 21. And again, being a PK, of course, don't you go down there and lay down with nobody. Mind you, I'm fully
Mm-hmm.
grown, wasn't living
Home.
at home.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
wasn't even
Yeah.
living at home. I had my own apartment. But don't you go and lay down with nobody. You're going to hell knowing it was half of them that was laying down too. But it was because I was a PK.
Yeah.
There was a problem. And and it just keeps going on. It people just want to put you in this box. Even with me sex coaching, when I
Mm.
announced that, because of my background, because of who my parents are, because of where my family is from, that was an issue, and it still is an issue today. But I had to make the decision that whatever my purpose is and whatever God purposes me to do, can I do this without those people?
Mm.
Mm.
That's good, coach.
When
Yeah.
Okay.
if everybody decides to walk away, can I do this? Can I walk in God's purpose for my life without those people? And that answer for me is yes,
Mm-hmm.
because he purposed me for this. This is something I didn't just like we said before, I didn't just sit there and like, "Ooh, let me just see what sex coaching is." Like that never came to me. It was a process. That was something God gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And in learning and in speaking with women, I knew further that this is what God wants me to do, because there are so many women that is out here struggling
Yeah.
in that area, so many women that need help. And I've had experiences, good and bad, that I can assist with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Those were the reasons that I had to go through those things in the past to help others. So it's not about you and what you feel about me and how you think I should be and where you think I should be going.
Right.
I could give a rat's
Say it.
how you
Go ahead.
feel at this moment. I am 45 years old. I have gone through
Ooh.
hell. So I had to go through all that to get to that point where you can say whatever you want to say to me, but
Right.
I'm standing 10 toes down on what God has purposed me to
Absolutely.
do.
Mm-hmm. That's good, Coach.
Absolutely.
That's
Mm.
good.
I like to get high. I'm
Absolutely.
about to call all the people and be like, look, forget
Listen. Listen. I'm finna say, stop,
that shit.
Shanita, because listen, this conversation we finna go off the outline. I was like this because the people, it be the people at the church.
Yes,
It be the
yes,
people.
yes.
So yeah,
And it's
I definitely
amazing.
get it.
And it's amazing how you, in talking about family and friends, you talk about church people, Coach, because
Mhm,
for a lot of us, church people were like family. We looked up to these people like they were family, and their words held value, their thoughts and opinions
mhm.
and about us, how they saw us. It really did matter. And it's hard to get their thoughts and ideas and opinions out of your head.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just, the religious thing is just absolutely, it's something.
Yeah.
You know, and what I've come to understand, Coach Albie, I'm coming to you with this, is that religion is a traditional thing. And I tell people all the time, my grandfather, he was the first person that I can remember to teach me how to bathe. But my grandfather had a little OCD. So the things that he did, I kind of do. But he taught me those things, and it's a traditional thing. So now, before I leave the house, I'm going to take a bath. Now, if somebody else does not take a bath, does that make them wrong? Does that make them evil? That no, they just don't want to take a bath like me. But because of what's been instilled in me, it has become a traditional thing. And I think what happens in the church, we bash so many people because of them walking in the sexual truth. And I don't think we really know why we're bashing. If we really ask the people,
Mm,
it's because my granddaddy said,
mhm,
his granddaddy said, and
mhm.
his granddaddy said, it has been a reoccurring traditional battle
Right.
for
Right.
people coming against them because of what somebody said, instead of sitting down and saying, okay, let's talk about the truth. What's your truth? Where did it come from? Because all of this starts, so we have to deal with it in a religious sense. What you think about that, Coach Alvin?
No, I think you're right. I think you nailed it on the head. I think for too long, religion has been used as a tool to beat down, to condemn, to control that which we don't understand, right? It's been
Hmm.
used to demonize anything that deviates from the accepted norm. And it's
Right.
been used, I think, to even legislate how people express their sexual identity. We've all heard it, we felt it, and we amened it for years. And
Yes.
yeah, I think those, of you out there who are like me, who are perceived as different, we internalize those phobias and that self-hate Sunday after Sunday, Wednesday night after Wednesday night. And it
Mhm,
causes us to believe that we are wrong, or that we are unnatural, or that we are damned or demonic, or perhaps even undeserving of a fulfilling life. I think too, sadly, religious beliefs that condemn non-heterosexual identities, they create a significant internal conflict, right? I think
Hmm.
it forces
mhm,
people to have to make a decision between walking out of their identity or practicing their faith or being a part of the
Yes.
faith community. This is
mhm,
the reason why we have so many Black gay men that are down low. This is why so many preachers and teachers live one life before the congregation while living a completely different one behind the scene. And I want us to just consider this for a moment. When we talk about the Bible, let's talk about King Solomon for a moment.
Yes.
King Solomon was one of the wisest men in the Bible. This man had over 700 wives and
mhm,
300 concubines, but religious people have an issue with polyamory.
mhm,
David God's anointed vessel, God's anointed leader, had a loving relationship with Jonathan that many scholars, biblical scholars, believe was homosexual. But he went on to have 8 wives and many concubines. But religious people have an issue with bisexuality.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible itself was organized and structured by King James, a known homosexual. Listen,
Mhm.
he was madly in love with George Villiers. I think he was like the first Duke of Buckingham. And this
Yes,
is all
sir.
noted in the love letters that he wrote to
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
George. You know what I'm
Yes,
Mhm.
saying?
sir.
The truth be told, these sexual variances, y'all, they predate most of the modern religions. I
Mhm.
mean, we're talking about mighty Roman emperors, Egyptian noblemen, most of all of the Greek philosophers and artists, European queens, wealthy Himalayan and Spartan women throughout Asia, Africa, Native American cultures. These variances have always been there.
Always.
But what I think religion has done, and I think particularly Christian expressions of religion, what it says is forget about human history. They were
Mhm.
all wrong,
Mm-hmm.
sinful, they all burning in hell. Ignore the fact that over 1,500 God created species practice homosexuality.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to, that's not for you. It even tells us to deny our own feelings, to
Yep.
suppress those natural inclinations that we did not put inside ourselves
Mhm.
Natural.
because they are a part of our biological and genetic makeup.
Right.
Truly, God made a mistake there, or you're wrong. What you're feeling is wrong. Don't feel that way. Stop yourself from feeling a way that you did not create.
Mhm.
That's what religion says. And I think, like you said, Bishop, we need to sit down and think about that for a second and really ask ourselves, does that make any sense? You know, like when you silence the pastor's voice and them deacons' voices and all of the family and friends, when you step away from all of the religious culture and ask yourself, what feels right for me?
Mhm.
What feels right to me? And I like what Yolanda Adams said regarding homophobia in the church. She recently said, God is not surprised by what he created. He knew us
Mm.
before our parents got together. So why am I disrespecting what God respects and loves and
Mhm.
chooses to bring into this world? I
Right.
think that's the question. Who am I to go against the person God made me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think
Right.
in that vein of thought, denying it, hiding it, lying about it is not only disrespectful and unloving to myself, but I think it's also that way to God who
Mhm.
crafted me this way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I think we also, in an effort to get beyond the religious boundary and being able to accept our sexual identity, I think we have to understand that sexuality is not a choice.
Mhm.
It's not. But whether and how we choose to walk out our true feelings absolutely is a choice.
Right.
That
That
is
is
a
a
choice.
choice.
Um, so I don't really fall for the fake religious love that folk, want to spout about, you know, equivocating gay with all the other sins that just need to be prayed away and just support folks through until they get delivered. That's BS to me.
Mhm.
Sexuality is no different than race or gender. You can
Mhm.
choose to deny it, but at the end of the day, you are what you feel you are. You want what you want. So,
Right.
so that whole idea of love the sinner, hate the sin, that's bullcrap to me. And living in truth is not a sin. That's the goal.
Mhm.
That's the aim. That's the mark. Denying and hiding your truth is missing the mark. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? God made me one way and I'm trying to be something else and pretend I'm not. And I think, getting to the place of understanding that and really overcoming those years of hateful words and erroneous teachings and internalized fears, it takes building a personal relationship with God to overcome.
Mhm.
However you define God, however you perceive God, I think it's in that personal relationship that you overcome that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think you've got to get to know and become one with God's love, his love for you, because I think these pastors out here, these prophets and apostles and bishops, evangelists, and churches are all stuck regurgitating the same stale, hurtful ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, their whole ministries are being upheld by the gays.
Yeah.
Let the church say amen.
Baby, we are doing the hair and makeup in the church.
Yes.
We are dressing and styling the first ladies. We are leading the choirs and writing all of the great praise and worship songs. We are preaching and teaching, and people's lives are being changed. Meanwhile, we are going home broken,
Yes.
depressed, suicidal, anxiety ridden, frustrated, lonely, and sick, desperately clinging to whatever happiness, whatever sexual satisfaction we can find in the dark and secret corners of the world. And let me be real, let me be 100% real. I spent many years not understanding and even denying my own truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about nobody else's story. I'm talking about
Right.
my own story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Living one way but having feelings that were totally contrary to the way I was presenting myself. But it was the words of my mentor, one of my mentors, my mom in heart. It's Coach Shenita's mom, Benny Richardson. She said to me one Sunday, she pulled me to the side. I'll never forget it. She grabbed me by the hand, she looked me in the eyes, and she said these words to me. She said, "Son, God will only anoint that which is authentic. Everything else is just your gifts at work." That was the moment, y'all, that I knew I had to come clean with myself and with others, because I did not want to be one of those people that just skated around on their talents and charm while hiding and
Mm,
lying and living a double life. I
Right.
wanted to be real. I wanted to have
yes.
impact. Yeah, I wanted to have a real impact in the world around me. That's when I really came out. That's when I had to go within and seek God for myself. And gratefully, I had the love and support of people who knew God for real, supporting
Mm-hmm.
me
For
as
real.
I navigated my own relationship with God. They were not my God. And see, I think that's the problem with a lot of us. We allow the preacher, mama, daddy, etc., to
Yes.
be our God. We
That's
allow them
it.
to be our God.
My
No,
pastor said.
my pastor said, and my teacher said, and the bishop wanted me, and the prophet, but they prophesied to me that I ain't supposed to do that. What is God telling you?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with you? That's got to be your
Absolutely.
focus. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Absolutely.
And when you surround yourself with people who don't tell you how to think, you are able to really hear who you are and find confidence in that. See, the people that
Yes.
God gave me, they didn't tell me what I should do. They didn't tell me what I should not do. They said, "Albie, hear God and be who he created you to be. No matter what that looks like, we love you. You have a
Mm,
place at our table. You still have purpose." And that is what I want to say to you all out there who are watching this. Be who God has created you to be, no matter what that looks like. You are loved. You have a seat at somebody's table and you
Mm-hmm.
have purpose. And I think that is how you overcome the grip of religion. It's relationship. It's
Right.
being able to
mm,
hear God and being whatever whatever you call God, created you to be.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
my take.
absolutely.
Right. And I
Absolutely.
I have a question. Well,
Yeah.
maybe both
Go
of you
ahead.
guys can answer. Um,
Yes.
as far as the LG, I always say it out of order. You know what I'm
Me too.
Yeah.
Listen, Shanita.
Alphabet.
LGBTQ
My
plus.
team,
I
they be
got it out.
talking
I
about me.
got it out.
I be like the element in them.
I just got it out.
So,
But
so listen, y'all. We're not trying to offend anyone. Listen,
No, no.
we know,
no,
but we
the
know it's a lot of letters. We love everybody.
LGBTQ
Yeah.
plus community.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
okay. So as far as Christianity, church, why do you feel that that community embraces Christianity when Christianity does not embrace them?
Bishop Q, you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want you to go.
So I will give you three reasons, Coach Shenita. The first reason is that community, our community, craves community. We crave community, the sense of belonging and being a part of something. And church is very familiar to us. That's one reason. The second reason, especially with the Black church, is that it's the sheer pageantry and pomp of the Black church experience. It gives drag show. I mean, think about it. Think about it. The elaborate robes, the hair, the makeup, the big hats, the suits, the shoes, the accessories. Every Sunday is a
The
fashion show.
performance.
Every aisle is a
Mm-hmm.
runway. Every pulpit and choir stand is a stage, darling. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Mm-hmm.
over the top singing and the musical performances. It's a place where, listen, it's a place where our love for the arts and for entertaining can flourish. It's the emotionalism and the dramatics of it all. We live for a good praise break. We can
Mm-hmm.
shout for hours, leave church. You ask us what the preacher said. We don't remember what he said. We just know we had a great time. It is a drag show without the brunch and mimosas. That's the truth. That's the
Listen,
truth.
bring the mimosas. Bring them. Bring the mimosas.
I mean, when you really think about it,
Mm-hmm.
it is a drag show. And I don't mean to demean people's worship experience and the meaningfulness that they may get out of it. I'm talking
Right.
about from a gay perspective and the antics of it all. Why we are still drawn to that. And lastly, and perhaps more seriously, I think for most gays, particularly again of the Black church experience, Coach Shenita, we suffer from religious Stockholm syndrome.
Mm,
Church is all we've ever known for so
mm.
long that we have developed a psychological alliance with the very thing that is holding us hostage and abusing us. We
Right.
defend it.
Mm-hmm.
We defend its hate. We ignore the hurt. But we're scared to leave, and we resist the rescue attempts because we have bonded with our captor. It lets us sing and lets us dance. So
Right.
it cares about us, right? It cares about us. Plus, it's our only path to God. We can't walk away. Don't you
Mm-hmm.
talk about my pastor, yet he can talk about me like I'm a dog from the pulpit, but that's
Yes.
okay.
Mm.
That's okay because he's given me a title and I have
Mm-hmm.
position and I'm with other people. That's classic Stockholm syndrome, baby.
Right. All right. You can be all those things as long as you don't say out your mouth who you are.
Yes. Yeah. Keep that part hidden. And we all
Yeah.
know that you're
We know
sleeping
it.
with we all know it. I mean, yeah, it ain't no secret, but
Right.
just don't bring it to light. And
Right.
think about that, what that does. You can talk about husband and wives and kissing and dating from the pulpit and everyone applauds. But as soon as I say, hey, I got this boy. I saw a clip the other day where a pastor was up preaching, and evidently there was a lesbian couple in the congregation, and I guess one of the women in the relationship put her hand around her partner, and the pastor stopped teaching and said, don't y'all do that in here. You hear me? Don't y'all do that in here. I mean, like scolding them in the middle of the live, in the middle of the service. I mean, so think about what that does to our psyche over years. The
Mm-hmm.
only reason why we would stay in some kind of BS like that is Stockholm syndrome, trauma bonding. We have bonded with our captor, and we don't even see how they're hurting us anymore. We feel it,
All
but we
right.
dismiss it as something else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm. That's amazing.
I don't know if you agree with that or not, Bishop Q, but that's my take on it. On
I
why
don't
we
know
stuck in there.
if there's enough left for me to say. You said it all. But I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. And a lot of people don't expect me to agree coming from my position being currently in the position that I am, but I absolutely agree. And one thing I think what happens is it's a connection thing. It's a
Mhm.
connection, it's a heritage thing, it's a traditional thing.
Yeah.
So church kind of brings back memories. It brings back feelings. It
Yep.
makes you think about that loved one that you lost that was always there that said,
Yep.
you need to be in church. So it is a traditional connection that we do. So it's like, I know these people gonna treat me bad, but I'm going back. Because this is what I've taught.
Yeah.
And the Bible does says train up a child in the way they should go. But when something is instilled in you, but the thing about it is what people don't feel, what they fail to realize is there's a training process, but it's ever going.
Yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
does not
Yeah.
stop. So just because, we learned up to this point, okay, family, we got to learn some more. We got to learn how to embrace our truth. We talked about, things going up, but there's a different setting. And I think if we would just look at the Bible, just and this is just me. I'm not saying it for anyone else. It's just like the Constitution. It was an amazing thing that was created for order and things like that from the beginning. But if you don't shift that sometimes, things stop growing. It
Right.
becomes, just all messed up. So I think that's what we've done with the Bible. It was a great reading inspiration for leaders before us to tell us, like, okay, this is kind of how you had to walk because you're going to endure some of these things on life. But it was for that setting. I
Yep.
think we have to look at the setting that we're in.
Yep.
And I think there's something that Albie said that's amazing is like, we are not just dealing with this. We're not just dealing with this. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason why some people don't feel like you should be in polygamy or whatever the case may be, or poly, is because some people cannot handle it maturely.
Right.
That's the thing. You can't handle it maturely, so it causes problems. So that's why I be like, "Yeah, you might want to share." I think that's one of the reasons that was given. But when you know how to handle things mature, there's a whole lot of people in marriages don't know how to handle marriages maturely. So we have to point that out. But it's nothing new. It's been going on, from the beginning of time that the Bible talks about that. And like Albie said, Solomon had 700 wives and concubines. That's what they said. That's what they wrote. But he probably left one out when they was on their road to war, and he grabbed them. Come here, girl. They forgot that one
Mm-hmm.
because when nobody writing that day, we was fighting that day. So there are things biblically that we got to understand. They didn't put everything down in there. Listen,
Right.
Albie said something. I gotta get y'all. We gotta move on. Albie said something so amazing because he was talking about David and Jonathan. The Bible says that David and Jonathan had a soul tie to the point where they loved each other, to the point where when they knew that this is possibly the last time we see each other, the Bible says that they embraced each other, they kissed, and they wept. Now y'all know if y'all see two being embracing and
You
kissing
know.
and weeping and all that kind,
You
Something
know.
happened. Something went on there. That's there. Wait a minute.
I'm just here to tell the truth. So if people see that in the daytime, oh, they hugging and kissing, oh, yeah, they must be together. Okay, so if they must be together, then come on, Bible people. Something's going on with David and Jonathan. Now, that's according to some theologians, but they was a little close. And some people feel like that's why Saul was mad
Yes.
because he said to him, he said, you love David. You
Yes.
love David more than me. So
Yep.
he started spears and everything.
Yeah.
He knew what was going on. He's like, oh, y'all. Let me stop. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. 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 And I
but
love what you said, Bishop, about the need for religious systems, organizations, churches to evolve. And I think
yes.
that's the problem. We it doesn't want to evolve. And I think you got a whole lot of older minded people. I'm not going to talk generally about old people, so I'm going to say older minded people who
Mm-hmm.
only see life and people and things and Bible and God the one way. And it's the
One
same
way.
way that they've always seen it. And unfortunately, what is going to have to happen is that they're going to have to die out. Those ideas are going to have to die out.
Right.
And new people are going to be coming in who are going to be proud gays, proud bisexuals, proud polygamists, or whatever, their sexual identity is, stepping into these places and arenas in politics and in churches or wherever, showing that, hey, you can be who you are and still live with character. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Because I think that's the association. Because you have a sexual identity that deviates from the norm, then you just out here living any kind of way. You don't care about people. You don't have any integrity about your life. So I think it's going to take more examples of people rising
Yeah.
up to shift that, and so that the systems, all the systems of the world, can start evolving and understanding, like, okay, I get this, okay, I see this. And maybe my bigotry concerning that group of people was really misplaced, because this is an example living before me of X, Y, and Z. Maybe you can raise children and really be gay. I see this in front of me now. Maybe you can be a political leader and be married to this woman and that woman too. I think it's just going to take people with the boldness to just live out loud to help the church and other systems of the world continuously evolve.
Yeah. And I
I
hope
like that,
people
Coach Heavy.
and I hope people understand like why we're up here talking. I can't I know I can definitely speak for Alvin and myself, but just know that we came from those systems.
Yes.
We had those thoughts. It's not that we were not here all the time. It was a point that we had these thoughts. We were with
Yes.
against we were,
Yep.
against a lot of
Listen.
things. So just know there was a process. There was an awakening. There was a
Yes.
shift that happened. So, God does the drawing and
Yeah.
he drew us out from that. So
Hmm.
just want to put that out there that
Yes.
we were there too. So it's
Yes.
not just we're
Yeah.
not saying y'all get it together, y'all need to fix it, whatever. Like, no, we had to fix it
Telling you the
too.
struggle. The struggle was real.
We
Hmm.
had to fix it.
Listen,
And we're still
I
fixing it.
understand.
It was hard.
Still, that's what I was about to say. It is a work in progress all the way.
Yeah.
So it's not just them two, y'all. The bishop right here, all three of us have been a part of this system. And one thing about me is I'm just a little crazy because I come from a religious system that was very hardcore. I'm talking about to the point where our pastors and stuff would stand up and they would call each other, they would call people fags and
Yes.
bull daggers and
Right. Right.
whatever. I went back to the Old Testament. I said, if your wife in the bed with you while she's on her menstrual cycle, you are wrong. She's supposed to be separated from you. She's supposed to be clean before she come back in the house and all that kind of stuff. If she gets sick, do like Moses was to put her out the camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we're not doing those types of things, then we need to shift our mind in every way.
Yep.
Mm,
So, I'm just y'all, I'm sorry. I got a little perturbed.
I mean, and it go. I mean, you're so right, Bishop Q. We have used the Bible to, like I said, demonize and critique and condemn people. But what we
mhm,
don't understand is that the letter killeth. It is the spirit
Mm,
that giveth life. You see what I'm
mhm,
saying?
yes,
And
yes,
and so
yes.
I can pick any scripture out of a Bible to condemn or hurt you or tell you what you're doing is wrong, but that was never the intent. I don't think
Right.
of the book. Let it guide how you live your life every day, but don't go taking your thoughts and your beliefs about that Bible and throwing it on top of everyone else and say everyone else should do it this way too. Everyone else should see it this way too. And really quick, a funny story. I remember back in the day when I used to preach and I was praying for someone. This was a gentleman. And I mean, he came to the altar and he was struggling. And he said, Rev, could you pray for me? I said, sure. And I laid my hands on his chest. He was an attractive guy. And I'm in,
Ah,
I really
help
was,
him, Lord.
listen,
Feel his, help him stay in spirit, Lord.
bless him, Lord,
that,
as my uncle would say.
y'all, I was in the spirit. I swear I really was. But as soon as I laid my hand on his abs and I felt them ripples, I said, whoa, whoa, what is, I said,
Oh,
what is
oh, Lord.
this? Wait a
Oh,
minute.
glory.
Oh my
I had never felt abs that tight in my whole life. And I felt, and listen, I'm joking about it, but I don't want nobody to be offended because I'm
gosh.
not trying to make a mockery out of what people do at all. I felt really bad
Right.
about it. I
Mhm,
felt really bad. And I was like, why did I feel that? Like, come on. Like, and I beat myself up for it. I mean, for like weeks because of that feeling that I felt in that moment.
mhm,
And I think that's what we have a lot of people who are working in ministry and trying their best to do the work of ministry, and they feel bad for feeling the way they feel naturally on the inside. Yeah. So we
Absolutely.
get it.
That
We get
that
it.
sounds so good,
Yeah.
man. That's so good.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, listen, I promise y'all, we're gonna come back and just talk about that right now. I mean, because that could go so many ways. And y'all see, we already ready because we've been part of the system. We bucking against the system now.
Nuck and buck.
Yeah.
Nothing but now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so we're definitely gonna come back, but we're gonna try to stay on top because Albie, you know me, you know me. I would go right there with that. So listen, y'all. We basically talked about um, how society does not accept it and things like that, and we don't see it on social media. We don't push it. We don't push for people to be, who they are authentically. We don't
Mhm,
see it being celebrated on, social media and things like that. That you can love yourself and your sexuality, in its fullness. And when I say sexuality, because a lot of people They just think of it as, okay, I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm bi, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But listen, even within those spectrums, we have to understand there's always spectrums inside a spectrum.
Yeah.
Every gay person is not the same. Every homosexual person, every heterosexual person, asexual, whatever, everybody's not the same.
Right.
So we're looking at people and we just categorize them in one group. Oh, they gay. Oh, they this. No, that. Listen, listen. I was trying to figure out what the difference between gay and queer, but I found it out. But see, the thing about it, it's a difference. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a spectrum of things, and I don't think that we allow that to be fully expressed on social media. We come against it, and just like Albie said, it causes people to be down low because it's like I can't talk about this. And honestly, before we go on, I think, and this is just my opinion, people, this is my opinion. We have a whole lot of sickness and diseases and things happen like that. Okay, yes, you're supposed to protect yourself. But I absolutely believe, and this is a personal belief, that if we didn't shun and make people shame to do things,
Talk about it.
that they would not do the things that they do, but
Talk
because
about
Mm-hmm.
we've made them as a people feel bad about stuff, it pushes them into a perversion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the sex as a perversion, but it's because they can't be themselves authentically that pushes them into a perversion.
you never
So the church people and the controlling people have put people in that place. And we wonder why we have these results. It's because we can't allow them, we haven't allowed them to live their authentic self.
that's so
Right.
true.
That's what it is.
But Bishop, how do you overcome that? Like how do you overcome that feeling of wanting to conform to the box? Well, like what advice would you give to someone?
My thing is wanting, because we, like you said earlier, Albie, it's like we want to do that. But why? And that's my thing. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you want to be who you're not?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You will have a hard time being who you're not. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They want to conform, they want to fit in this box, and they are miserable. You're not happy because you're not being your authentic self. So you'll never be happy until you embrace who you are. And like I said, I'm not just talking about, asexual, whatever it may
Right.
be. Some people like scat. Ain't that right, Coach Shenita? Some people some people like that.
Woo!
If you would like that, embrace your truth. And for
Embrace
some people
your
on the
truth.
panel,
Uh-huh.
some people on the panel, they ain't about to embrace that. They don't want to hug, touch, handshake it, or nothing. No type of embrace. But listen, we cannot shun those people, and we can't say, okay, now listen, if you into that, we ain't trying to put you in the box, but be somewhere insecure, so you handle that. But anyway, you but you cannot allow people to put you in the box
All
Right.
right.
because you will not be yourself and
Yeah.
you forever not be happy trying to be somebody else. Listen, I tell people all the time, there's too many people taking being themselves. It's only you. Steps to embracing your sexuality. All right, we're going Miss Shanita right now. Give it to us, Miss Shanita.
All right. Reconnect with your body. What does
Mm.
that mean? What does that mean? And I might have some of the mothers clutch their pearls. Um,
Ha!
but exploring what your body desires, wants, and needs.
Mm-hmm.
Again, how can we tell our partner what we want, what we desire, need if we do not know? So there are so many, so many resources out there in the world now, especially with technology and the internet. You can Google anything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Everything.
So don't stay stuck. And when I say don't stay stuck, again, we were just talking about the church. We were taught that,
Yeah.
you know, missionary style, that's pretty much the
Mm,
way. That's the
mm,
truth and the light. Missionary
mm.
style, and we can hold hands, and we can kiss and that. But that doesn't work for everybody. So again, I'm geared to make the mothers clutch your pearls. Let's talk about masturbation.
Let's talk about it.
That's one of the first steps in finding what we like, what we desire. And I am a big advocate for educating children.
Mm-hmm.
masturbation.
Yeah.
I know about 85,000 cans just was thrown on the shelf because people don't want to hear that. Like,
But you talking truth. No, you talking good. Yeah.
but
So, yes.
whether we want to acknowledge it or not, children at an early age, they
Yeah.
find that sweet spot. All right.
Do. I did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some, they find it through abuse. But I'm not
Mm-hmm.
touching on that
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now. We find that I found my sweet spot at an early age. I was not abused. I was not abused, but I was just brushing across the pillow, and wait,
What is this? What is this?
What? What that
what
is?
is that?
Yeah.
And I brushed it again because surely we can find that again.
Surely goodness and mercy. Ah!
So that became the start of me
Right.
exploring myself, because I'm like, that feeling is amazing. I want
Mm-hmm.
to experience that all the time. And I remember my daughter, she's grown now, and she doesn't mind me telling this. I tell this all the time. But I realized that she found her sweet spot. And a lot of parents, they want to just like, I ain't talking about that. No, I don't want to hear nothing about that. But I explained to her that that was something that was private,
Mm-hmm.
something that was okay
Yeah.
because it is her body. And I
Yes.
told her how to safely explore her body.
Right.
And again, not that's something that she doesn't have to share with anybody. That is something that's done
Right.
in privacy. She doesn't even have to tell me when she's doing it, but it's
Right.
just
Right.
something that is for her.
Right.
And I told her the benefits of it. And this is when she was in her early teens. So, and again, a lot of you would not agree, but I would prefer it come from her mother
Yeah.
than
Right.
someone else to tell her something crazy to do, or tell
Right.
her not to do, or shame her for
Mm-hmm.
exploring her own body.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
masturbation, going back, there are ways to explore your body. We have toys out there. There is all kinds of toys out there. Anything that you can imagine is out there. And there are resources out there that can, and some people are against watching porn. That's your business. But porn is there, and porn can be used for education. A lot of people don't want to hear that,
Amen.
That's true.
but
Yeah.
it can be used for educational purposes, because there's a lot of things, honestly, that I learned from watching porn. I'm like, God, that position is this? How
How do we do that?
wait.
Listen.
But there are books out there. There are so many things out
Sure.
there that can
Yeah.
teach you how to get to those pleasures. So
Mm.
again, finding out what you need, experiencing those pleasures. Especially a lot of women like to talk about the G spot. Don't talk about it, be about it. Explore it.
Hey.
Find out how to reach that.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of women like, I'm jealous of this other woman because she can squirt, or she can experience this or whatever. Have you tried it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried Jesus?
It's
Oh, let's stop. Have you
it's all right. Hey.
have
Tried
you
out.
tried it?
Yeah.
Have you tried
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And again, this is something that is done in the privacy of your own home. And I think a big problem with women, we share too much. We share way too much.
Yeah.
Why do we have to go and tell your sister, cousin, brother, friend that I like this, or I'm interested in this, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about trying this? Why?
Or me and my man did this and we did this
Yes.
and
Woo!
he liked it this way. Yeah.
Yes. Why
Get
do
a
you
part.
feel the need to go share that? Because as soon as you share it, it's gonna be somebody like, "Oh, girl, I wouldn't do that," or "Oh, that's nasty, I wouldn't try that." Shaming,
Yeah.
shaming.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, just exploring yourself, learning what you want, need, and desire.
Coach, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the idea as it relates to sexual identity, people exploring or taking the opportunity to explore different identities. So let's say someone is questioning, they are heterosexual because that's been the standard that they've always kind of known, but maybe thoughts, feelings in their private time, other things are coming up and they want to actually try that. What are your thoughts?
I think that they should try it as long as it's not. I would say try anything as long as it's not harming to you or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of your hard
Right.
nose.
Or one of your hard nose. Yeah, absolutely.
Can't play with them hard nose.
Because that
Coach Shenita get hot over there.
right.
We
Don't
hot.
every time the heat made me want to fight.
The scat community is going to try to get our videos taken off YouTube. I
I
feel it.
Listen,
know.
they coming for
I
us.
know. But scat
Listen.
community, I am speaking on me. I am
Right,
talking about
Mhm.
right,
me.
right.
Because if you come and spread some feces on my face, I am fighting you on sight.
She thought she fighting on sight.
And she means it. I'm
I
telling you, the
mean
girl
it.
means it.
She is fighting on sight. She fighting on
Can
sight.
you
Yeah.
imagine? But anyway, okay, focus. Focus.
But I think that's amazing what you said because, you know, honestly, if we go biblically, if let's just say if we
Mhm,
by the way the Bible said, way we've been traditionally told, you got to be a virgin, then you get married, you stay with that person. When do we learn how to do for each other?
Mm,
If we've never had this experience, where do we learn it from? We
mhm.
must play with each other. We must add things in. We must get experience.
Right.
And that's the next point I was going to. Having a mentor. What is your mentor? Your mentor, it could, and listen, Bishop's not telling nobody go watch porn. Pastor Bishop said, I ain't telling you. But if you need some experience, you got to find it. You got to go somewhere. So if porn works for you, if reading books work for you, you have to learn how to be available to your partner and know what you need. And I like that she said, playing with yourself, masturbating or whatever, getting to know yourself, however you want to put it. Like you said, it starts at an early age, so we need to teach it at an early age. I've always taught my kids about sexuality and like being here talking like this, and people like, oh, that's a visual. Now my kids like he talk like that in church, like he is
That's his dad.
authentic. That's
Yeah.
that's that's who he is.
Yeah.
And I think, because I started dealing with them because if people think, okay, well, we're not going to talk about that, the church people, we're going to leave it alone, so let's stay away from it. But no, your body naturally does it. I don't know a whole lot for women, but men, I can say I had me a wet dream, and it was something that I did not do. It was something that I wasn't planning. It happened
Mhm,
because we are sexual beings and we're sexual creatures. Now, I got a question, Coach Anita,
mhm.
and this gonna help for the people. I don't understand if there's a clitoris and then there's a G spot and there is a prostate and a G spot. What you think God put it there for, Coach Anita? Would it just there to look? Is it for decoration?
Look, he didn't put it there because he was bored. I know that. I I cannot imagine God is like, let's throw something. Let's throw
Up in
something
there.
up
Yeah,
in here.
let me just put that prostate right here. Let me put it in the clitoris right here. We
Everything.
don't need it, but we just gonna put it there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it there, and it's gonna have a reaction that it reacts when it's stimulated, but we don't need it.
Yeah. And
It don't make sense to me.
right. And I want to go back to your question real quick, Alvin. You're talking
Mhm.
about curiosity.
Oh yeah.
Curiosity doesn't go away. It just grows.
Hmm.
Woo! Boy,
So if we don't deal with those thoughts of, you know, I might be interested in this, I want to try this and whatever.
It
If
just
we
grows.
don't explore that, it just grows and it grows and it grows. So, and just with me, I was curious about being with a woman because that was just at that time was something that was all around me. It was a
Uh-huh.
thing.
hmm
I heard it all the time, like,
Uh-huh.
how it feels or the experience. So I tried it, but I found out that that's not who I am. But I
Uh-huh.
had to try it and find out because it was something that was just sitting in my head and it just played over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
hmm
Because I
Yeah.
had to get it. I had to explore. I had to see what this thing is.
Yeah.
And now that I explored, I was like, That that
Yeah.
ain't that ain't my lane.
Yeah, yeah. I think too, as a parent, we have to give our children the grace and space to discover. You know, we're talking about
Mhm,
parenting. We got to give them the grace and space to discover. You know, I know that there are young people who parents have found out that they had same sex attraction, for example, and punished them, like ridiculed them. I don't think
mhm.
that's safe. I don't think that's. I mean, I think as a parent, your goal should be to create a safe space for whatever you're feeling, right? And to allow,
Yes.
especially within the I mean, I think like you guys both said, in the conversation, I can assure that my child stays safe, right?
Mhm.
That they get the right information. So even if they're wanting to
Yes.
try something different, give them the information, give them the space and the grace to really understand what that looks like. And
Yes.
for ourselves, we've got to give ourselves that own, you know, that same grace as well.
Right.
The ability to explore, like you
Absolutely.
said, and do, you know, what feels right for us, to try new things. Because a lot of this is learning through experience.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So another thing I wanted to mention really quickly, as far as a key step towards embracing your sexuality, Coach Shenita mentioned reconnecting with your body. Bishop Q mentioned, you know, seeking mentorship, counseling. I think it's important also for us to practice self acceptance, recognizing that our sexual orientation is just really a natural part of us. I think we should treat sexuality again just like we do our gender, our race, our heritage.
Right.
Own it as being a part of who we are. See the value in it. Like Coach said, explore the joy in it. Understand how it makes us uniquely who we are. Celebrate it. Surround yourself with people who celebrate it as well, people who see you for who you are and love you unconditionally. I think the work of self acceptance is all about challenging that inner critic within us, that inner voice of negativity telling you that you're wrong, you're sick, you're weird, you're unloved by God, right? I think every day we got to look in the mirror and love on the person we see reflected, you know, be good to that person and allow that person to exist
Right.
without judgment, without shame, and watch this, without the need to defend. Who I am does
Mm.
not need any defense. I am
Right.
who I am. I like who I like. If you don't like it, if you like something different, fine. But I'm not about to stand here and give you a 2-hour dissertation on why I am where I am and why I like what I like. I am who I am, and it don't need explanation.
Period.
Period. Exclamation point.
In the podcast, ain't nothing else to be said. I like that, Coach Albie. I
Yeah.
like that, Coach Albie.
Yeah.
So, releasing shame and negativity. Let's talk about grieving.
Mhm.
How does that go together? Grieving means is a part of healing. So, why I say grieving is letting letting go of those people, grieving that. The
Mm.
people
Yeah.
that has held you bound,
Mhm.
who shamed you, who all of those things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Grieving that because I mean, that's gonna hurt. It's gonna
Yeah.
take some healing when
Yeah.
you have to
It's
walk away.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have to walk away from those people that you've loved, that you looked up to, that you've been attached to for so long. Grieving those years that you've wasted being
Mm.
someone else, you know?
Yeah.
Looking back and like, I did all this and
Wasted all that time.
I could have
Yeah.
been doing this.
Yes.
I wasted all this time
No.
Mm.
grieving those unmet needs.
Mm.
I have gone without for 20 years. Un-
Mm.
n- Unpleased, no pleasure performing for 20 years. So I'm grieving that part of me,
Yeah.
Mm.
that person, that person that did not embrace their truth.
Mhm.
The self abandonment, grieving.
Yeah.
I literally abandoned myself because I was being someone else for so long.
Yeah.
Needing that approval from other people. So it's that process of grieving and healing that I think we forget that that's gonna be a part of it and embracing and embracing our truth. That's a part of
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
great.
Right.
Yeah. That's good.
I agree. I agree. All right, Coach Albie, you got another one for us?
Yeah, I would say tip number 5, I think you should share your truth. You know, you may not be able to
Mm,
shout it from the loudest mountaintop,
Mm-hmm.
although that is very awesome if you can. But I think you should tell it, share it with whomever you can share it with and tell it to. I think it will liberate you, and I think it liberates others. I think you know, telling your truth, it sets you free for real. You know, people can't
mm,
hurt you with the truth that you own and that you share. You know what I'm saying? Like it allows you to be fully present and seen, and it gives visibility to even other people who might be sharing in that truth. Excuse me. I remember a couple. This might have been last year. There was a guy that I met, and he approached me. He said, "You know, I'm in a polyamorous relationship. It's me and two other females, and wanted to know if you're interested in joining us." And first of all, I was kind of flattered. You know, this is a nice looking person, and the ladies, you were beautiful ladies as well too, as well too. But um, it was the first time that I had been approached in that way about being a part of something polyamorous. And so I invited him to my place and we had a very long conversation about it. I leaned into the conversation, and what I realized was that a lot of the stigmas that I had about polyamory were misplaced. They were wrong. I
mm,
mean, he walked me through how their rules of engagement, how they do things, how they live their life, how they share time together, and how they pair off, you know. I mean, and it was so illuminating to me. And I left the conversation not being sold on the idea that I wanted to be in a polyamorous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I declined because that's just not where I am. That's not something that I desire, not a part of who I am. But I left the dialogue really informed
Mm-hmm.
and very
mm.
appreciative. And I think him sharing the truth about who he was, it I don't know, it was just a beautiful thing to me. And he felt really liberated. You know, you could tell he
Mm-hmm.
there was no judgment or hesitation. Yeah, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what we do. Like he stood in that proudly.
Mm-hmm.
And that confidence really resonated with me, and I just thought it was a beautiful thing. So, yeah, I say share your truth. You know, seek it out, whatever it is that you do desire. That's a part of who you are. Ask for it, go for it, share it. Hey, I'm a lesbian. I'm interested in you. Hey, I am, poly. I'm interested in you joining us. Hey, I'm gay. You know, I don't know if that's something you're comfortable with or not, but I'm letting you know because I kind of dig you. And you'll know within yourself where the safe places are for you to share that truth. But I think you should share it.
Absolutely. I think that's amazing, Coach Albie. And I think we have to understand that, sex is fluid, sexuality is fluid.
Yeah.
And you just absolutely have to embrace um, how fluid it is. We see it everywhere. We see everybody around us. We got family members. And that's what I don't understand. Listen, especially for the church people. Y'all know y'all got some church folk family, y'all that different from y'all, and y'all want to mess up with other folk. Listen, if you can accept your little bald headed grandchildren and stuff, you can accept everybody else in the world. We ain't taking it no more. We standing up.
Right.
But honestly, it is fluid. It's fluid, and you have
Mm-hmm.
to embrace it. Not just by embracing it, but embracing it by speaking it, but experiencing it, grow in it. As
Mm-hmm.
Coach Albie said, if you know something that you're desiring, grow into that. Go into that. Learn about it. Because a lot of times I think what we do is we feel like we're all alone in
Oh,
our
Right.
thoughts. But I guarantee you, there are a whole lot of people thinking
Whole
like you,
lot.
and they're not acting.
that's
So
good.
you can find a community, and that's why a lot of people don't understand that. Oh, them the gay people, or them the no. People find a community because at the end of the day, I don't care who you are, you want to be accepted and you want to be loved
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in some kind of way. In some kind of way, you want to be appreciated and loved. So there are people that say, okay, well, they won't appreciate me and love me because of how or who I choose to love or how I choose to have sex. Then I'll go to this community. So that's why, we have communities like that. But embrace yourself, grow in it, try new things. And people say the bishop saying that. Yes.
I just wanted to point this out too. I think so much of the journey in understanding what your sexual identity is a journey of unlearning what it is not.
Right.
Ooh.
That's
Yes.
that's really at the crux of it. And the only way you are able to unlearn is, like you said, giving yourself the grace to have new experiences and to try different things. We got to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
unlearn
Absolutely.
because all of us from the age that we understood what sexuality was, for the most part, have only known sexual identity one way: man, woman. And if you're in church, that's all you hear about. What? Yeah, it's only
Yes.
Adam and Eve, ain't Adam and Steve. Like that all of that bull stuff. And so when you have been programmed that way for many years, but you've been feeling things differently and you're ready to step out, you gotta start having new experiences to unlearn that, okay, yeah, I don't do good with Eve. I do prefer Steve, or I need a Steve and a Stevette, or like you gotta allow yourself the grace to unlearn years and years of, seeing and believing one way.
Right.
And the church covering up stuff. I know this is not what we talk about today because we may talk about this on another episode because this is one of my good teachings. But listen, no, it ain't Adam and Steve. It was Adam and Eve and the deceiver, the serpent, also known as Lucifer. We'll talk about that another time. It was all three of them. It was three of them in the garden. They wouldn't eat no apples. That's all I'm saying. But that's not what we talked about today. That's not what we talked about today. We'll give you scripture on that another time. Scripture. But yes, Coach Albert, I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And before we go to our little personal things, or we're going to our personal things, I want to talk about a story that one of my spiritual daughters, she talks to me about with one of her coworkers,
Mhm.
and her coworker is very, very, I guess I could say, very sexual, just out there. Like she enjoys who she is, and she lives in that. She has a partner
Mhm.
that she lives in that with. And there's times where she would show up to work and she got bruises on her, and hickeys and rope burns and just all this types of bites and all that kind of stuff. And she'll show up at school and she'll ask like, I do look all right, did I do my makeup right? Because she is okay with who she is.
Right.
But she knows that when she gets to work, when she gets to that place, okay, I gotta fix this. I gotta do that. But when she go home, listen, I don't know what her husband be doing. I don't know he be tying up from the ceiling and all that stuff. But listen, she be having all kind of whips and marks and all kind of stuff. Listen, but it makes her happy. That's she found out what makes her happy.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do as religious people or structural people will say that's not sex. God didn't intend it for that. Well, show me in the Bible where he said you couldn't hog tie nobody and flip them over. He ain't say that. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. So
Mm.
you have to embrace who you are and your sexuality. You got to. You got to. All right. Now listen, y'all. I'm gonna ask Coach Albie to take us to our next part, to our ending part. Cause y'all, like I said, I ain't know with so many sexual people in
Yeah,
Albie. Help me,
yeah,
Albie.
I got you. So yeah, so quick. So I want to, before we end, I want to ask the panel a quick question. And I think
Yes.
Coach Shenita asked us one earlier. So I don't know, Bishop Q, if you want to ask
Mhm.
one after this or not. But my question to you both, um, and to anyone who's listening who wants to put their answer in the chat when this is on YouTube,
Yes.
feel free to do so. We love to see your comments
Please.
there, and thank you for those who have been leaving comments on our previous videos and shorts. But my question is this: beyond the main sexual identities of straight, gay, and bi, do you identify with any other one? For example, are you demisexual? Are you androsexual, which is an attraction to masculine energy or masculinity, or only, a male energy? Genisexual, which is, or gynesexual, which is more a sexual attraction to only feminine energy or feminine characteristics, sapiosexual, etc. So beyond the main sexual identities, is there another one that you identify with, panel?
Well, I have always identified as sapiosexual,
And explain
but
to us what that means.
um attraction to intellect.
Mm.
So someone come to me with knowledge that I don't know, that
Mm.
is a turn on me.
Yes.
Teach
Mm.
me
Woo.
something. Teach me
Mm.
something. But in further study, I I think I more identify now as demisexual.
Okay, break that down for us. Help us.
Because more than the intellectual thing with sapiosexual, I am not like physical attraction is not my first go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
you can't be gremlin. You can't be gremlin.
Mm-mm.
You can't be
Mm-mm.
Shrek on us. Okay, got
Mm-mm,
it.
mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I can't have to squint at you to find something to I can't be squinting. But
Right. Right. Yeah.
How
but
about blindfolded sex? I'm blindfolded because I don't want to look at you.
right.
Put a bag on. Put a
Yeah.
bag on. Yeah. Yeah.
But with me, it has to, for especially for sex, it has to be some type of emotional connection.
Mm-hmm.
Even for you to even touch me,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
we would have to have connected in a more a deeper way for me to be attracted to you, for you to touch me, for us to be intimate. Yeah, it has to be something there. So
Mm-hmm.
again, that probably comes with some time. So I'm not that one that just I'm not the one night stand chick. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not her.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm.
Nothing against it. That's just not me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I most identify with.
That is awesome. I never knew that.
That's
That's good.
good.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you,
That's so
Bishop Q?
amazing. All right, let me pull out the list of.
Go with the top one, please, sir.
let me pull out the list. But no, seriously, um, Demi is great for me because I'm at a place in my life where I want to know about you. I want to know what attracts me to you. I want to know. I don't want to just jump into bed with you. I want to learn you first. I want to know all of that and then build that connection. Um, and I'm definitely I love intellect. If you could speak on a level where we can understand and we can grow and in with each other, oh, you got me. Like if you talking on the mindset of growth, oh, you got me. Like, oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you talk that like that too much, you might get some. But anyway, I do feel like I identify that. But the crazy part is, and I think it is, let me make sure I say it right, sexual.
Andrew.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
now that's why I wanted to point that out because earlier when you were talking about you prayed for the guy and you felt his abs. Now he's like, okay, those some nice abs. Now I can be that type of person. I can say, oh, like, ooh, boy, you really good. But that doesn't mean I want to have sex with you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people don't understand. I can appreciate the energy. I can appreciate that. I can say, okay, you're very handsome, things like that. But that does not mean I want to have the same thing with female. I'm like, oh, you're so pretty. They be like, so what you doing? Can I get your number? No, listen, lady, I'm just giving you a compliment. That's all. Can't give you a compliment these days. So yeah, that's me, Albie.
Yeah.
There's just a few,
Yeah.
because it's a list with me.
Yeah.
I'm questioning my whole life, Albie. Since we've been doing this, you got me questioning my whole life. I'm wondering.
Look, I feel you. The guy that had asked me to be a part of the polyamorous relationship, I questioned. I said, "What makes you think like I'm gay? Like I'm all the way out gay. So like, what makes you think that I would be okay in a relationship with you and two other women? That was really strange to me."
Hmm.
But he said, "Well, you're a father, so at some point you did like girls." And I was like, "But I think I was more bypassing. Like I was buying that." Like so I'd say that to say that I think at this point I am very much more androsexual, meaning it's male energy, that those male characteristics and qualities are what sexually drive me. I find
Yes.
women to be extremely attractive and beautiful and great for so many reasons and in many ways, but sexually just not interested there. And I think that I would even have an issue with being with somebody who like with a guy who was still liking women. Like I don't know how I would thrive in that. I don't know. But that would so that's one aspect of me. And then I think the other part of me is monogamous by orientation. That's a sexual identity, monogamous by orientation. That means you are someone who derives sexual um, attraction through the idea of monogamy and being just with someone.
Mhm.
I think
Oh.
I say this. I think guys typically fall in, and Bishop, you correct me if I'm wrong. Guys, I think, fall in one of three buckets when it comes to monogamy. monogamy is the norm and they deviate from it, meaning I ain't trying to lock down with no female. I'm with, just one female. I'm gonna sow my royal oats, do what I want to do. Second bucket is monogamy is the norm and they conform perfectly to it, right? They-
Mm.
as younger men, they had many different women, many different girlfriends, but at some point that norm set in and they conformed for the rest of their life, just being with one
Yes.
woman forever. And
Yes.
we have a wonderful, holy, sacred marriage. I think some men fall in that bucket, and that's great. But then I think there are men like me who monogamy has been standardized for so long to the point now it's romanticized. I'm that person.
Mm.
And again, I don't know if it's just because of the fact that I have always uh, known monogamy and seen the beauty in monogamy, but that monogamy is sexy to me. Like the
Mhm.
idea that you would look at me and say, out of all of the people in the world, I just want you. I want to come home
Woo!
to you every day. I want to make love to just you every day. I don't give a damn about Ed or Teddy or Adam or no. I
Mhm.
just want you, Albie. That right
Yeah.
there, my
That's it.
goodness, that is sick. And I think to Coach Shenita's point, that's also part of me being slightly demisexual because I'm
Mm-hmm.
turned on by the idea that you and I are in this thing called life together, and that bond and that intimacy just grows over time, and we're working through
Mm-hmm.
life's challenges together, and I'm supporting you, and you're
Yes.
supporting me, and I got your back, and you got my back. That's sexy to me.
Yeah.
That is
Woo!
sexy to me. That's a complete turn on.
Mm.
And it's funny because in meeting guys now, I'm friends with everybody. I can meet anybody and connect with anybody on any kind of superficial level very easily. I'm a people person. But when I start to get to know you and you start telling me that you like many different relationships with many different guys, I'm completely turned off. I don't,
It's over.
yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. It just doesn't do anything for me personally. So that's
Right.
how I would answer that question. Yeah.
Well, now, well, I'm tell y'all this right here. I'm gonna let Melvin take me down that downtown Peachtree, cause y'all done got me hot and bothered. I'm going to look for somebody. Listen, I'm gonna sit on the corner with a sign, and he gonna say I'm homeless, but he gonna say I'm Demi, I'm Penny, I'm all. Listen, come on, come through here, come through here. Take us through there.
Why?
If I find you out there on Peachtree Street, that on the side, I'm gonna yank you up and say, "Boy, get up in this car and let's go home."
I'm going with a sign. I'm gonna say the love lines people done got me hot and bothered. I don't know what to do. They got to talking about all this type of stuff. But I
Yeah,
think it's absolutely amazing um, that we're able to embrace the conversation. And like we started off with this season, ask for what you want.
yeah,
We started that out. Ask for what you want. So if you fit in these categories and you know that you have a feeling, ask those. Make that knowledgeable to your spouse, to your
sure.
partner, to whoever.
Mhm.
Make that knowledgeable. Listen, I heard them talk about Demi. I heard them talk about being pansexual. I heard them talk about. Okay, so I kind of identify with that. So you know what? Ask for what you want. Don't sit up there by yourself dealing with that in your mind.
Yeah,
And I think something that Coach Albie was talking about earlier, he was talking about the church and all that kind of stuff and how we deal with that. We deal with that because it's taboo to the church because they don't know how to talk about it because that's a sin. So we it's a sin. We can't say you can do it because then it goes against the Bible and we can't control you and tell you what you can't do. So we no no. If we look at the Bible only a couple of times it talks about where God gave instructions for something to be written down. Only a couple times. Everything else was just the history of that person writing and what they were talking about. That's all it is. So we have to embrace that and we have to know that. And with that, we don't talk about in religion how to deal with sex, how to deal with these urges, how to deal with I'm different. So we make people feel like something is wrong with you. No, just because you like this, there's 10 other people, 20 other people that may feel like that. You got to find your community that can love you just like you are and what you identify
yeah.
in. Ain't that amazing?
That's a
I
beautiful.
think that's amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
All right, Coach Anita, we coming over there. You finna give us a closing remark and stuff. Come on over here now.
I just want to remind those, and we spoke about this. Don't. And my higher power is God. However you are, whoever you is your higher power. I'm not gonna force my God on
Right.
you, but
Right.
Mm-hmm.
my higher power is God. Don't don't leave him out. Do not think that you cannot go to him about what you need,
Mm-hmm.
what you desire, what you
Yes.
want.
Mm-hmm.
Be honest, be transparent.
That's good.
That is the first go-to. That is your very first thing you should do is go to him like, God, I am feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
I desire this. I want this. I need this. God, show me how to navigate this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Show me how I can let go of these things or these people so
Mm.
I can live a more purposeful feeling life. Show me how to do that and watch him do it.
That's
He
powerful.
will.
Yes.
He will.
Yes. Absolutely.
He will do it. And Coach Anita, I like that. People be saying I be lying, Coach Albert. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you real truth. There was a situation in my life. I had separated and divorced from my wife and all that kind of stuff. Y'all not been married a couple times. Anyway, so I was in that situation. I said, God, listen, this is not something I asked for. This is a gift that I do. This is a job that I do, and I do it well. God, you've anointed me for this. Now, Lord, you also gave me some flesh too. I'm dealing with these flesh issues. And I sat there and sincerely, and I said, God, you got to send me somebody to deal with my flesh issues, even if it's on an emotional level, even if they just talk to me, even if we can just go out to eat. You have to do something, God. If you don't want me out in the street being a whole Lord,
You better
Mhm.
you
send me
better fix it.
something.
I'm about 30 seconds from going out to church, go be a whole Lord.
Yep.
So you better fix it. And people don't believe that, but God sent me someone. He did. He sent me someone that was there as a helpmate, as a companion, just to keep my mind. Because if not, listen, I would have been out on that pole and I'm like, ah, I'm telling you. Listen, I've been in the street, but I had to do that. I had to do that. So
Yeah.
I, I embraced it and all that. Coach Abby, come on with it now. Come
I,
on.
well, I think it's first important. I just want to say, I think it's important to just to piggyback on what Coach Shenita said, to recognize that God, whatever name or entity you call it or refer to it, cares about you, even your
Hmm.
sexual needs and desires and the sexual part of you. So I like what both of you said. I think in my final thought, I would say live your truth, right?
Hmm.
It's all about being authentic. You're not here to be perfect or to follow the norms. Um, Perfection is subjective, and norm
Yeah.
is a figment of the fearful and dull's imagination. So just be you and let them adjust. This is your life. Live it. Live it. That's my final thought.
Mm, I like that. Just be you.
Just be you.
And you know what? They'll adjust. They'll get it together.
Or
They'll
they'll
get it.
move
So just
on.
be you.
Or yeah, yeah. And if they don't, it's still
And
okay. Keep
sometimes that's
keep
what it
being you.
takes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right, right,
Sometimes that's what it takes for people to move on, for you to
right.
be your authentic self.
Yeah,
And I guarantee you, once that happens, you be like, I ain't never knew I was gonna be this
yeah.
happy. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I didn't even
If,
know it.
if if you being the real you pushes people away, they weren't really yours to begin with. Being you will attract the people that's going to really love you because they're going to be like, I like your realness. I like your authenticity. I'm a
Mhm.
roll with you. Those are the real ones.
Mm, yeah,
Absolutely.
I, I agree. I agree. Well, listen, y'all, we've had an amazing, amazing conversation over here talking about, you know, in the sixth lounge, we were talking about, embracing your authenticity, embracing your truth, and celebrating your sexual identity. We had an amazing, amazing time. Listen, y'all, we got more and more and more conversations coming like this. And listen, if you have a topic that you want us to talk about and kind of, deal with, y'all, Coach Albie will make sure we talk about it and we will deal with it so you have an understanding. And that's why we were saying you have to have a mentor, have life coaches. Listen, you got three right here. If you need us, send us some messages through our emails or whatever the case may be, and we will answer those questions. And I'm like, Albie, they said they want to know about this. We're going to talk about it. We definitely will talk about it. As everyone has said, connect to your spiritual source, connect to who you believe in, what gives you power,
Mhm.
whatever you call him. He don't have one name. He's everything and everybody and all things at one time. Speak to him and confide in him and let him work in your life through your sexuality. Say, Lord, I'm horny. Tell him, and
Tell her.
he gonna work on it. He gonna work on it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We gotta get out of here. This has been an amazing, amazing podcast. Be on the lookout for our next topic and our next show. Listen, y'all, we love y'all, and we definitely gotta get out of here. Till next time, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.